right around the corner, next weekend, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I honestly can't believe that it's next week. It feels like it took so long and then it came so fast all at the same time. Super excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And the biggest question on everyone's lips for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is who is dying? Who's going to kick the can? Who's going to kick the bucket? Whatever the phrase is, who is dying in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? So I thought I would just give you guys my odds, my predictions of who is going to kick the bucket, who's going to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So let's kick this off. Let's kick this off with all of the Guardians, because I've seen that theory around that some people think that all of the Guardians by the end of this movie are going to be dead, because James Gunn said this is the last time we're going to see this iteration of the Guardians, and then we're going to get a whole new set. I have that at 5% likely. I do not think all the Guardians are going to die at the end of this movie. I think that is too dire. That's too sad of an ending. I don't see them doing that. So I some of these Guardians are making it out, and I have all of them dying at 5% chance. But which Guardians are going to make it out? Well, let's get into that, shall we? Following 5%, I've got Groot at 10%. I think Groot is safe. I think they killed off Groot in the first film. We got Baby Groot, so technically this is a new Groot, according to James Gunn. We've watched him grow up. We've seen him now become this adult Groot. I don't feel like they're going to do another sacrifice for Groot. I don't feel like they're going to kill this Groot again and have us go through the evolution of Groots again. I think Groot is safe. I think he's making it through this movie. And along with Groot, and this might be my most controversial opinion, because I definitely am in the minority, I have Rocket at 20%. I think there's a 20% chance that Rocket dies. I don't see them killing Rocket. And I know a lot of people say that the trailers and everything, they're alluding that they're going to kill Rocket. It's all leading up to that. I don't really buy into that if it seems that obvious. And also, I kind of am thinking from a business standpoint as well. If this is truly the last time we're going to see this iteration of Guardians and we're going to get a new iteration going forward, because you know Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a big brand name. Disney is going to continue this with or without James Gunn. Most likely without James Gunn. And I think the way that you can bring people into a new iteration of the Guardians is Rocket and Groot. Rocket and Groot are a beloved pair in the Guardians that we have at this moment. And they're CGI characters. You don't have to worry about them aging out of the role. You just pay Bradley Cooper a couple bucks to do voiceover for Rocket every once in a while. I think because they can just keep using the model, keep using the CGI creatures, Groot and Rocket, I think they're going to go on and be in a new iteration of Guardians. So I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. This could be one of those times. Everyone thinks Rocket's dying except for me, and I stand by that. I give him a 20% chance that he's going to die. Following Rocket, we got Star-Lord at 40%. Star-Lord is arguably the face of the Guardians at this point. He definitely was starting off as the lead character. As the movies went on, they kind of became more of an ensemble piece for sure. I could see Chris Pratt wanting to stay on board. I could see Chris Pratt and Star-Lord moving forward in another Guardians group. But at 40%, this one I'm kind of battling with because I could see it going either way. I'm going to go under the 50% mark, though. I think in the end, Star-Lord does live. I just don't feel like the ending to Star-Lord's story is his death. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I feel like he's going to be okay. I feel like he's going to live. All right. Coming in at 55%, we have Mantis. Now, Mantis, I was kind of on the fence of, but I lean more towards her dying than living because Mantis, she's not a huge character within the Guardians. She's not a someone that could necessarily, I think, carry a film or is enough of a beloved character to the fan base that you would carry over into a new iteration. She's kind of the innocence. She kind of represents the innocence of the Guardians. And if at some point in Guardians 3 you lose Mantis, I could see that being like a Phil Coulson moment in the first Avengers film, you know, that kind of motivates the Guardians because of the death of Mantis. So I'm going to give her a 55% chance that she kicks the bucket. Not that I want her to, because I think Mantis is adorable. All right, going on. At 60%, I have Kraglin. Sean Gunn I'm sure that you're great. I know your brother loves you because you are featured in all of his movies pretty much. Craiglin has not left much of an impression on the audience. When you think of the Guardians of the Galaxy, odds are you don't think of Craiglin. So I think they could use this character as an expendable character. You know, he is someone you could kill off, and no one would really bat an eye, but it could still be used as an emotional moment for the Guardians moving forward. So I have Sean Gunn's Craiglin at a 60% chance that he kicks the bucket. Going a little bit higher, we got Nebula at 75%. Now, Nebula's story, it's kind of always been about when we first meet her in the first Guardian, she's working for Thanos. She's trying to kill her sister. Then she kind of has a change of heart. She wants to kill Thanos. She reconciles with her sister Gamora. She becomes part of the Guardian. She finds this family. She's kind of done her arc, you know? Thanos is now dead. Thanos is gone. She no longer has that vengeance driving her. I could see Nebula being a sacrificial and saving this new family that she's now found, or dying, and again being something that could maybe motivate Gamora, or giving that nice send-off to Gamora and her sister, because this is going to be a new Gamora, so she hasn't even reconciled with her sister yet. So if this Gamora sees this Nebula sacrifice herself, maybe for herself, maybe she saves Gamora, maybe that'll change Gamora's heart. Maybe that's how you get Gamora to kind of become more like the Gamora that we've known from the past movies before she died in Infinity War. Speaking of Gamora, and moving on to our next one, I have Gamora at 85%. This is my biggest question mark, my biggest hurdle going into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is how are they going to deal with the fact that this Gamora is a different Gamora, has no relationship, no attachment to these Guardians. This is the final movie with all of them together. How is that relationship going to play? And I do think there's a possibility in this movie where this Gamora does eventually grow a relationship with these Guardians, get attached to some of them, see what a family is or something like that, and then she could be a sacrificial death, or she could die. I'm sure James Gunn did not want Gamora to die in Infinity War. He recently came out in an interview and said Infinity War did things that he would not have done. I'm sure Gamora's death was one of them, especially since she's going to be in this movie. I think James Gunn's plan was always to have Gamora in this movie. Whether or not he always planned for her to die, who knows? Maybe he did, and maybe he wants to fulfill it with this new Gamora. But I do think there's a way to end this Gamora's story with a sacrificial death, maybe for the ones that she has now learned to love. So I have her high. I have her at about 85%. Plus, we've already got a dead Gamora, so what's another one, right? All right, guys, and this is probably no surprise to anybody, but my final prediction is Drax at 97%. Now, I don't like to go 100% on anything, so I'm just going 97%. I think Drax is a big possibility to die. Not only because we have Dave Bautista saying, I don't want to be Drax anymore. This is the last time you ever see me playing Drax. I hate Disney. I'm working for James Gunn, all this stuff. I mean, he didn't say all of that, but he basically said everything but. And so behind the scenes, there's drama there. But Dave Bautista doesn't want to come back as Drax. There's also, kind of similar to Nebula, Drax's story is kind of done. In the first Guardians, we meet him. He is bloodthirsty. He wants to kill Thanos. He wants revenge for his family. He comes to be a part of this new family, learns to love these new group of people. Thanos is now gone. Thanos is dead. His revenge may not have been at his hand, but his revenge is done. Thanos is dead. What better send-off for Drax than to die? Whether it be in the arms of his new family, whether it be saving his new family, dying and going on to his wife and his kid in the afterlife, moving on to be with them again. How sweet of a bow is that on Drax's story? Anyway, guys, those are all my predictions and my odds for who is going to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We only have to wait a week. 1 week to find out the answer. So what do you guys think? Who do you think is kicking the bucket in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions, guys. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying.